Welcome back. And here we are, Larry and Al, search for the truth. So we've been talking about the truth and its many phases and elements and aspects. And so a question I have is, can the truth be bent? Um, can it change over time
Well,
or is it absolute?
it's not absolute. It can change. It can be bent. Like when they talk about fake news.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, is that the truth, or that is one person's reality and truth? But is that the real truth?
Well, that is truth for some, right?
Yes. Okay, and it depends on where do you get your information from. Okay, I was a voracious reader when I was a youngster, so I learned if a word if there was a word I didn't understand, I looked in the dictionary. Back in the old days, or I went to the encyclopedia, and that's where I gained my knowledge and information. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's the things that were written down. Okay, so if somebody told me that the world was flat, I can say no, the world is not flat. The world is round because of the truth that I learned by doing research. Okay.
Well, they talk about this being the so-called information age.
Mm-hmm.
And there are many ways to search for things and research things.
When I say this, is a lot of times people are always looking for the shortcut. They do the buzzwords, and they go to Google and they get the answer, but they don't understand the process. See, in life, there is a process. Think about when we taught back in the day, Larry. We went through a process. We had a process that we went through for every student, and we did the same thing at every site that we were at. Okay, you remember what our process was?
Oh, was it trial and error?
No, what did we do everywhere we went? What was the thing that was uniform everywhere we went? And that every student that we dealt with had the same type of experience with us that the last one had, and the one in the future was going to have.
Well, again, it was our philosophy of how we were going to approach the student and how we were going to help them. We were going to find out where they're at
Yeah,
and help them move forward.
we gave them information so
Right.
they can make a decision on what direction they wanted to go. We didn't say you need to go here and you need to go there. We talked to them, found out what are you interested in.
Right.
What direction? What is your short term, long range goal? What is your medium goal? What is your long range goal?
I
Okay.
don't think we ever told somebody they couldn't go where they wanted to go. We might give them options or have them
We, we,
consider what
we,
they had to do and what steps.
we gave them a path to go down to go down so they can be in charge of their experience.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it was never, like the kid said, I want to be a brain surgeon. I said, okay, but you gotta take biology, you gotta take sciences.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you have to be able to do.
Right.
And then you have to go to school every day too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Well, that's a reality, right? Is that a reality or is that a truth?
That's the truth and a reality. I mean, you can't be a brain surgeon unless you go to school and take the sciences, the beginning and then the advanced sciences. That's the truth right there, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You can't walk off the street and say I'm gonna be a brain surgeon and start carving up somebody's brain.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta go to school. You gotta go. The 8 years that that's undergraduate, graduate school, residency. You got to have those experiences. You got to be taught by the specialists. You got to be taught.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I think of too. A lot of what you fight against is human nature, and human nature is to grasp onto something. Like you said, sometimes it's the shortcut, the easiest answer, something that supports your frame of reference, if you will,
Right.
your outlook on life.
let me
So many people close down
Yeah.
to an openness
Yeah.
to receive something else different, a diverse
let me
thought.
let me ask you a question. What do you remember when we were growing up? And one thing people would tell you: use your common sense.
Use your common sense.
Okay,
Common sense isn't that common.
not no more.
Was it ever?
Well, I use common sense. Like my daddy told me something when I was a little boy, and he said a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush.
Right.
And what does that mean? That means that if you have a job over here, take care of that job before you go over here and try to get another job.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, a lot of people will quit this job and then don't have no job and go looking for that job and can't get that job,
Right.
and then what happens?
They squander.
They don't have no job.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hey, a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. That's Aesop's fable, right?
Right.
Okay,
Right. Right.
and that's common sense.
Well, there are a lot of those kinds
Mhm.
of quotes that actually, if you take time to think of it, yeah, it's okay. I don't need that.
Okay.
You just sort of let it pass you by, but you don't
Mhm.
really take time to think about what's being said.
It's just like the old Chinese proverb: teach a man to fish,
Right.
he'll feed himself forever. You give a man a fish,
You feed them for a day.
and feed him for a day.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of what in a sense we were trying to do when we were in our teaching and in our various programs that we did, but we were really teaching them how to fish.
Well, we would not have been able to graduate with the Casey during the period of time that the Casey was there. We would not have been able to graduate 775 students with a high school diploma
Mm-hmm.
if we didn't connect and have a program, a thought pattern for each student to be able to grab a hold of and say, this is worth my time and effort, okay, and to put into it so that I can graduate from high school.
Mm-hmm.
Because, when students used to say to us, they say, damn, you guys are worse than high school.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have to do this much work,
Mm-hmm.
okay. And kids would, like I remember we used to get the kids out of juvenile hall, and I'd give them a schedule, and they would be doing one. Oh, I said, hey, did you do your English? Because our saying was, if you do two assignments in each of your subjects each day, you can't fail.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of kids would come from juvenile hall or whatever, and they would do one book, and they say, oh, you did your work today? And they said, yeah, we did our work today. And I said, okay, well, what book? Because every day I used to check the folders, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, you only did English today. Happy holidays.
How you doing, brother?
We're hanging in there. We're doing a podcast.
Podcast.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
uptown. Huh?
Well, we're trying to be real. We see. It's called Larry and Al Seek the Truth. This is Larry, and I'm Al, and this is Elijah. Speaking the truth. Search. Well, it's search for the truth.
I'm gonna look in the office searching for it.
Today. It'll be on. It'll be on the. Today will be our first time putting it out. Okay.
Are you gonna make multiple copies, or are you gonna keep it to yourself?
No. It's gonna be out to.
Oh,
Yeah. So look on it on YouTube. Okay.
take care.
You do the same, young man.
Well, some people you would talk to would say, "What's the big deal about a high school diploma?" I mean, that everybody gets a high school diploma. That's what some people would say. So, what was significant about, like you said, that 775 individual students that got high school diplomas? What's so significant about that?
It's the first ticket on the train ride.
Okay.
Okay. If you have a high school diploma, that's your minimum qualifications for a job.
Right.
Okay. Then you put yourself in a situation where you're going to community college or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Then that's the second. Then it enhances your ability to become employable and to become a good citizen.
Yeah, too, I think another commonality that we have is, like you said, we both pursued our education. We got our degrees, we got our teaching credentials, we got our advanced degrees in education, so we could speak the truth to our students about the importance of
Right.
that, because it benefited us, in many ways beyond just the piece of paper, if you will.
One student asked me when I was over at the Harvard Learning Center. They said, "Mr. Steele, why is it so important that I get a high school diploma? Why is it so important that I come to school, get an education?" And I told him, I said, "Well, real simple. You will be able to determine whether somebody is telling you the truth or telling you a lie,
Mm-hmm.
because you'll have information.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't have information, somebody can lie to you,
Mm.
and you'll accept their truth, which is a lie."
Right. Right.
Okay, it's just like I keep going back to the example of January 6th, when they stormed the Capitol. Okay, I'm watching it on TV.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching it on TV.
Right.
Okay, I'm watching what they're doing on TV, and you're gonna try to tell me I did not see what I saw?
Right.
Okay, like the guy said, the new speaker said, we're gonna send. I want you to pay attention to what I'm gonna say. We're going to send this out to them, and we're going to blur the faces of the people so that they will not be. Uh, 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 the Department of Justice will not be able to indict them for doing. And I'm thinking, excuse me.
That's hiding the truth there.
Well, but see, that's their truth. Their truth is that everybody came. It was a walk in the park.
What's the motive behind that?
Well, because they have a base of people who believe that, and they keep them in the dark by keep on doing these things. Oh, what you saw was not what you saw,
Right.
but what we said is what you saw. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Well, it's just like when Trump came down and said, "I can shoot somebody in the middle of New York, and nothing's going to happen to me,"
Right.
and he's proven that.
Right.
Okay, because when they interview these people on YouTube and stuff like that, and they say, well, they ask him, well, what does he? Well, if he goes to jail, I'm still gonna vote for him.
Right.
I'm gonna vote for him.
Mm-hmm.
And Biden is this, and Biden ain't done this, and Biden ain't done that. Blah 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 blah. And I'm thinking, what actually did Trump really do?
Mm-hmm.
He cut a deal for the rich and the rich and well to do, and then and the people that down below, we didn't get nothing.
Yeah, but that's the common man that still supports that, believes that they were looked out for, that somebody cared about them, and that those that came before didn't care about them,
Okay.
and this person did.
Well, he said he did, but in reality, he did not. But when it's just like when you go fishing and you hook the fish and you reel him in,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and you reel him in, he's caught.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not going to jump up and say, "You caught me. I'm going to go back into the water."
Right.
Okay, and it's sad. And this is where understanding. This is where you, as an individual, use your own brain to think about what's going on, and don't become a part of a mass. They don't want. People are saying it's a cult. You think about Jim Jones. How many people? How could you get somebody to drink your poison Kool-Aid? Leave the United States and go to Guyana and drink poison Kool-Aid. Okay.
Well, they bought it. That's
okay.
For sure. We used to say the saying, they drank the Kool-Aid.
They drank the Kool-Aid, man.
Generalized because people that buy the line.
Because it's just like when I was growing up in Oakland, there was this guy. His name was Louis H. Narcissus. And back in the day, he lived off. He had a church, and he had all these people, these poor people in Oakland, and they would buy him a Rolls Royce every year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they used to call him Daddy Grace. Louis H. His name was Louis H. Narcissus.
Narcissus.
Daddy Grace. Okay, and then the women would wear the white robes and the whole nine short. But they'd buy him a Rolls Royce every year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but that's a cult.
Mhm.
When you give up your well being for somebody else and you think that you're getting something from it, no, that's a cult, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, there they go.
Mm-hmm.
Take care. Be careful, Bob. You got what I'm saying? So,
Mm-hmm.
but everybody everybody finds their own truth. And the thing that I learned is that as long as I have my truth, I can live my life the way that I want to live it. As long as you have your truth, you can live the life the way you want to live it. And it's not for me to change how you live your life because of your truth or my truth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
We've known each other for how long now, Larry? Almost 30 years?
Well, longer than that, yeah.
Okay,
'Cause
but have we ever tried to influence each other about how we think or how we feel?
I just think we talk
We talk,
and we
okay.
listen.
We share information,
Yeah, share
okay.
ideas.
But I don't dislike you because you got a Dallas Cowboy thing on, do I?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But that's your truth. That's who you. That's your thing,
Mm-hmm.
okay. And that's what I'm talking about. Everybody, if everybody allowed everybody to have their space, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I like when I was a kid, I used to like jelly and cheese on jelly with cheese on it. You got with a slice of cheese. You got what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Okay, a lot of people can't eat that,
Yeah.
but that's what I like to eat. Okay,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and you might like your eggs scrambled fluffy, and I might like mine scrambled hard.
Mm-hmm.
You see, so but that's an individual thing.
Mm-hmm.
That is okay. It's not for me to say you have to eat it like this,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Or I like my coffee with cream and sugar. Some people like their coffee black.
Well, that truth isn't a challenge to me if I don't like my coffee with cream and sugar.
There you
I
go.
just drink it black.
Okay, but as you get down the road and you get into other things, this is where it comes. It's just like they when a person says they're in my this is not my body is this, that they're making a hell of a decision.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they're making a hell of a decision. Okay, so you have to respect that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, uh, 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 if my child came up to me and said, "Daddy, I think I need to be a boy," I'll say, "Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, are you sure that this is something that you want to do?"
Mm-hmm.
That's how you support. Okay,
Right, how you support.
you support. I can't be inside your body and your mind and see how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like when they said to the ugly girl said, "Daddy, we can't find no man." And I said, "You know what?" I said, "Leave it to the Lord, because you'll find somebody
Mm-hmm.
that will be somebody that will be respectful for you or whatever. And if you don't, just keep on living your life."
Mm-hmm.
And they said, "Well, we want you." I said to them, you're my children, and I don't expect you to live your life for me and have children of your own. That's not something that I'm not going to force on you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just they're strong women, and they're making the choices. Their truth is that, hey, you know what? I got my own property. We all have my degrees. I got a good job, and I've gone to Korea a couple of times. I'm traveling here and I'm traveling there, and I don't have nobody to answer to but me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's your truth. That's their truth. It's not my truth. It's their truth. And my job is to support them as my children the best I can.
And that's the truth right there. Is
Okay.
that you support them. It may not be what you agree with, or but you allow them to have
Yeah.
that. You allow them to.
Yeah, there's space. They're grown women. They're making it. They're grown people. They make their own decisions.
And that goes back to what I was saying about people coming into this country, trying to escape their persecution, and come here. They're still persecuted, but they can find their place. Allow them to have their
Yes,
place,
yes.
and they will make their contribution to society in some way or form of another. And that's just a matter of accepting that.
Okay, and the quote of the day is, "You can't tell grown folks what to do."
But people attempt to do that.
Yes, they do, and guess what happens? They go crazy, don't they? Okay,
They're confused. They're angry. They're disillusioned.
Okay.
They're depressed.
I mean, we go back to I go back to my experience with my son. He lives out of 17th and Harbor. He's 54 years old, and he's been living on the streets for I don't know how long. Okay, but that's where he want that. That is the decision that he made in his life.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something that I would do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but that's where he thinks he wants to be, and he's most productive living on 17th and Harbor in Santa Ana.
Now, being that that's your son, is that hard to accept? Is that hard to?
You really want to know, Larry?
Well, I know there's many.
Wait a minute. I have a roof over my head. When it rains, I'm inside.
Right.
I have a refrigerator. You see my refrigerator. I got a refrigerator full of food.
Right.
I got a big screen TV.
Right.
I have a toilet I can shit in.
Uh-huh.
I have a big bed I can lay in. I'm in my house all by myself. Okay, you think?
But he might think that that's a lot of encumbrances that you have to maintain, that you have the stress of it. He doesn't have. He feels he's got freedom.
Okay.
He can come and go, and he doesn't need.
Yes, he can. Okay, he told me, was it 2 years ago when I saw him? The last time I think I saw him, and he said, "Ain't nobody gonna tell me what to do." And I said, "Son, I'm 70. I think I was 70, 77 years old." I said, "Son, do you realize that every day of my life, somebody's telling me what to do?"
Right.
Excuse me. Somebody's telling me what to do.
Yeah.
That's a reality. That's truth.
But
Okay.
he doesn't. He chooses not to want that.
Well, you're laying on the concrete and it's raining and you got a cardboard. That's his truth. That's his truth.
That's what he wants.
That's what he wants. And whenever he calls me, and I said, "What do you need, son?"
Yeah.
And I give him stuff.
Yeah.
It's just like when Kim came out, when he had the medical situation.
Right.
It was a couple of years ago.
Right.
And she bought him clothes and stuff like that. And she asked him, "Well, how did you like the new shoes and clothes?" He said, "I shit in the shoes."
Yeah.
Okay, come on now.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's his truth.
Mm-hmm.
And who does he care about?
Well, he cares about himself. And
There you go.
That's
okay.
That's his
Okay.
truth. That's his choice. That's his truth. Reality. That's his reality. Who he is.
And that's who he is. And he thinks he's a Pied Piper out there in the streets. He's the one, and like he says, "I'm the one that teaches people how to live on the streets." Okay.
Well, he's providing a community service.
He's community service. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, it's funny, but it's not funny.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But see, that's an example of the truth that each individual has.
So in this conversation, are we haven't necessarily come any closer to the truth, but would you consider a search for it during this conversation?
We're searching. And think about how other people view the truth.
How to make sense out of nonsense.
There you go. How do you make sense out of nonsense? Okay.
And I don't know if it's us to try to tell somebody what's sensible.
You can't tell.
You can't tell grown folks what to do.
Okay. You can't tell grown folks what to do. What you can do is, by example, show them some things that are happening in life, and if they choose to follow that direction, that's good.
See, that's why I think that's where the problem lies, is that people don't have open minds and open hearts to things, and to listen, to look, to trust. All
Well,
that is not in existence.
what do you think it starts at?
Well, in your own heart.
No,
It
no.
is-
What do you think it starts at, Larry? It starts at when you're a little kid and you grow up and you're taught these things.
But we don't have any control over, and we can't change what we were taught and how we were brought up and how we see the world. So we are where we are, and we
Larry,
encounter individuals that it seem like they're struggling, or like you said, living on the streets, living in a cardboard box, whatever. And maybe in our heart we would like to try to help, but that's really not our job. That's not really our place.
Larry, think about this. My mother told me when I was 4 years old, I was a prince in this world, and my responsibility in life was to take care of those folks who were less fortunate than me.
Okay.
Then she said, I pay the cost to be the boss. No, she said, these are the things I heard in my life.
Yeah.
Take care of number one,
Right.
number 2 and 3 and 4 take care of themselves.
Right.
Okay, okay. You see the things that how I've been. My parents have been gone for 40 years.
Mhm.
Okay, my dad told me a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush.
Right.
These are things that I was taught, infused into me.
You taught those things to me in our
Oh, geez, really?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's the benefit of having a long-term relationship,
But
professionally, personally.
But what I'm saying is these are the things that were tried and true. So whenever I got into a bind, all I had to do was rewind the tapes that I was taught. Rewind the tapes that I was taught.
Mhm.
Okay, but see, children today are not taught. They're given. Okay, they're given. If they don't like, I mean, when I was a child, when it was dinner time, you sit up to the table, you ate what was on the table. And nowadays, these kids, think about your grandkids.
Mhm.
Okay, you got them all together, and each one of them wants this,
Mhm.
this,
Mhm.
this, and that. You can't put one thing on the table and if needed, right?
Right.
That's how we changed.
Mhm.
Okay, we've empowered those who don't need to be empowered at a very young age.
We've empowered them.
We've empowered them at a very young age, and they don't know why they're empowered.
And is that a good service?
Well, think about it. I ain't gonna do this. I'm not gonna do that.
Right.
Okay? You can't make me do this.
Right.
You can't make me do that. Okay?
Yeah. Interesting.
I don't want to wear this. I don't want to wear that.
Right.
You got too many choices. Okay.
There's some reality there. There's some truth to that.
Okay.
Well, like I said, I think the whole rationale or point of this podcast is to converse and
Have a discussion.
And attempt to,
And
search for it. We may not find it, and maybe it isn't to be
for
found. Maybe it isn't. Maybe the truth isn't to be found.
But to think about the people out there to give them something to think about,
Mhm.
because what we're talking about is a narrative on perspective of what we have learned to be the truth in our lives,
Right.
not anybody else's life.
Mhm.
Okay, and I'm not saying that my mind is not closed,
Mhm.
but I say from my experience, being on this earth for 79 years, these are some of the truths that I hold
Mhm.
that have made my life livable, and have been able to raise 3 daughters,
Mhm.
and I have a son out there somewhere out there on the streets.
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
but I'm not closed. If he calls me up and says, "Yeah, I need some help," I'm going to help him
Right.
because he's my son.
Right.
Okay, I'm not going to turn my back on him.
Well, I would believe that anybody that came to you and asked for help, you'd give them a hand.
Well, sure. Well,
I think that's who you are. You know,
I guess I guess I would.
I think you would.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If they're serious, okay. If they're shooting it, if they who shot John, then no. But if you're serious about wanting to do something, I'll be right there to help you.
How do you know if they're serious?
Well,
Uh-huh.
you remember the girl said, "Oh, I want help. I need help. I need help."
Yeah.
And I gave her some information, and I said, "Well, have you called?" And I said, "I've already. Mary Lou's waiting for her to call."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
But you did what you could.
I did what I could,
And-
and then I'm
And you
okay.
do it again.
I
You
do it again, okay?
Yeah.
But I'm okay. But see what sometimes people have to be careful what they ask for.
Mm,
Okay,
true.
I mean, she stated something and didn't know us from that, and then she said okay, and I said, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is if you're really interested in doing this, what did I say?
Mm-hmm.
I said here's a, call this person, and she will be able to help you get to where you need to go.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was talking to uh, 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 when I talk to other people, that's what I just try to do. Just give them information.
Would you say that the majority of people are just complacent? They just don't.
Well,
They say they want help, but they don't.
But they don't expect you.
Okay.
Okay, see, you look in the face. Look at my face. They don't expect this to be
Oh,
able
is
to
that what it is?
to be able to
Think is
answer.
it? So if it came from me, it would be different,
Well, you may have more credence.
just because of the color of my skin.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I might know more. Because I might be in a
Well,
better position
because
to know.
you're like them. You're
Well,
like,
okay. All right.
but also too, I can tell. That's why I don't deal with my relatives
Mm-hmm.
because they ask me a question, I give them an answer,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll go check back with them,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll say, did you go do such and such?
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, I did blah 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 blah.
So I discovered something recently. I came to this conclusion. I was
Okay.
telling my wife this. Okay, so we go places with our grandkids, and we're at a restaurant or whatever, and people will come up and they'll start talking, and sometimes they're grandparents, and they'll say, "Oh, my grandkids this and that," and so they'll start talking to me at us, and they'll start sharing their story, and they go on and they go into some pretty much depth and detail about their life. And I just sit and listen, and oh, that's great, and I acknowledge them. But what I've discovered is that very seldom is it reciprocated. Very seldom do they really want to know about my life, my story, what my experience.
No.
So I'm good with that. I'm fine with that. So I make no effort to include mine unless I'm asked a specific question, and then I might tell them. But I realize that the majority of my experiences with that is that people aren't that interested in you.
But they want you to be interested in me.
And I'm fine with that. I'm not disappointed with that or disillusioned with that. That's just what it is. So I'm not going to go out of my way to
stay in your lane.
Stay in my lane
and don't cause no pain.
There you go.
Okay, because you have a friendly face, and people are saying, "Well, I can dump on him, and I don't have to listen to his shit."
That's kind of what it might be. I mean, I hadn't thought of it that way, but that's kind of what it is, I think.
Okay.
And again, I
want to share something with you. I got a phone call from a young lady the other day, and she said, "This I'm going through some stuff." And I said, "What is it? What's going on?" I watched my best friend get killed in an automobile accident. And I said, "Oh," I said, "Well, I don't know what you want from me, but I can tell you this. I can say this to you: is just take it 1 minute at a time,
Right.
or take it 1 day at a time until the pain goes away." And she said, "Thank you. That's why I called you."
It's simple.
And then I got a call yesterday with this morning, and from a lady in Portland, and a friend in Portland, and we did. I just told her that you're a good grandmother, and you take care of your family. You're the rock of the family. And she said, "That's why I called you, because I knew you was going to tell me something good."
Okay.
Okay. And I say to myself, uh, 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 I don't know why or how, but I'm able to empathize with people, because if you have not gone through things in life, then you cannot share them with other people.
Right.
Okay. I like I said, I never had a grandmother, grandfather. I never had that kind of thing. I never had only uncle I had was my uncle Alton. I lived with his family, but but I was not his child.
Mm-hmm.
I was his nephew, and he had 5 kids.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So you got no. I was just one of the brood. You know what I'm saying?
Brood,
And,
yeah.
my parents, they got divorced when I was 15, 16 years old,
Mhm.
and I didn't see my dad for 2, 3, 4 years,
Mhm.
and then
It's at 30.
let me finish this thought. Even when I was grown, I was telling my cousin in San Diego, my cousin Keith, in San Diego, that in my adult life, until my father passed away, I only saw him 5 times.
After the divorce?
After me being an adult.
Oh, and being an adult, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and and I'm thinking, in my aunt, I remember when my mother passed away. She passed away second. My father passed away first.
Mhm.
And my aunt Willa Mae, she told me, she said, you're an amazing human being, and all the stuff that you've gone through,
Mhm.
and you turned out like you did.
Mhm.
And man, I just fell to my knees, man.
Mhm.
Okay, because my father passed away, and I was, we talked on a day-to-day basis, but we didn't. And he gave me information via the telephone, that kind of thing. And I asked my aunt one time. I said, "Yeah, I want to bring him. I want to bring him to live with me." And she said, "Alton Steele." She says, "Is that what you want, or is that what Willie wants?"
Mhm.
So I learned some. I had
Right.
real profound thoughts in my life.
Mhm.
And then when my mother passed away, then I became an orphan.
Mm.
And, okay, I didn't have anybody to turn to anymore.
Right. No brothers, sisters.
No brothers and sisters. But the thing that they left, the legacy my mother and father left me, was those words that we talked
Right.
about.
Right. Right. The pearls of wisdom.